Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into a massive leap in how we interact with artificial intelligence. We're talking about mastering Claude's extended thinking mode. If you use AI for serious, professional-grade problem solving, this is a feature you absolutely need to have down cold. It literally changes the game on how we get accurate, high-value outputs from language models. So let's talk about the main issue here: fast answers versus careful answers. I mean, we're all pretty used to firing off a prompt to Claude and getting an answer back in seconds, right? And hey, for simple tasks, that blazing speed is exactly what you want. But let's be real, some problems need more than just a quick reaction. They need careful thought. When you're tackling complex logic, nasty code bugs, or high-stakes analysis, instant generation can actually be a huge liability. Extended thinking literally gives Claude the dedicated, structured time to reason its way through a problem before it even starts writing a response. And the coolest part? You actually get to watch that reasoning happen in real time. The mechanics behind this are super straightforward, but man, they are powerful. It all starts with a simple toggle. You just head into your Search and Tools menu in the chat interface and flip Extended Thinking to On. Doing that kicks off a dedicated internal reasoning process. Basically, Claude starts exploring multiple approaches, double-checking its own logic, and planning the final answer. Now, it's really important to get this. You aren't using a different model. It's the exact same model. It's just taking a beat to think before it speaks. You can watch this unfold via a little timer badge that pops up, saying something like thinking, 18 seconds, along with a collapsible thinking section right above the final answer. Just a quick heads up though, on the newer Claude 4 models, this block shows a summarized version of the reasoning because the raw process is encrypted for safety. But if you're using earlier models, like Claude 3.7 Sonnet, you'll see the reasoning much more directly. Okay, let's talk scale, because the sheer capability of this feature is wild. 6. That's the magic number of supported models this feature has expanded to since it first dropped back in February 2025. And yeah, that lineup absolutely includes Claude Opus 4. Plus, this isn't just for single prompts. Extended thinking works across multi-step agentic workflows. That means the model can actually pause and think things over between different tool calls. If you're running on a Pro, Max, Team, or Enterprise plan, you literally have this massive capability at your fingertips right now, ready to tackle your toughest workflows. Let's ground this with a real-world developer scenario. Picture a sluggish Python function, say, calculating Fibonacci 40, which is taking a painfully long 10 seconds to run. A developer flips on extended thinking, drops the code in, and asks for a fix. Now here is where the magic happens. Inside that thinking block, Claude doesn't just blindly spit out new code. It actually traces the core issue, realizing the function is recalculating the same values exponentially, giving it an O of 2 to the n time complexity. Then it explicitly weighs 3 distinct options: memoization, iterative dynamic programming, and matrix exponentiation. It ultimately decides that iterative DP hits the sweet spot between simplicity and performance. When the final response drops, you get the optimized code, a clear explanation of the complexity improvement, and even a note on when you might need to upgrade to matrix exponentiation. So the thinking block essentially turns the AI's output into this profound learning moment. You aren't just getting working code, you're seeing the exact architectural logic behind why certain optimizations went out and others were scrapped. Now, how do you actually use this day to day? Well, you definitely don't want it on all the time. You want to turn it on for the heavy lifting: complex math, logic proofs, intense code debugging, security audits, and breaking down dense legal regulations. But you absolutely want to turn it off for the routine stuff: simple questions, basic summaries, translation, or just quick creative writing. Why? Because thinking takes time. It adds latency. If you ask a basic question with this mode on, the model might overthink it and hand you an unnecessarily complicated response. So here's your golden rule. If being wrong costs you something significant, turn it on. If it's routine, leave it off. Oh, and one massive operational detail you have to remember: never ever toggle this feature mid-conversation. If you do, it forces a completely new session and your context is completely gone. Always make the call before you type that first prompt. And that brings us to the ultimate takeaway here. Extended thinking is not about getting longer answers. It is about getting more reliable ones. This is a complete philosophical shift in how we approach AI. It's for those moments when how you get to the answer matters just as much as the answer itself. That collapsible thinking block, think of it as your personal audit trail. You've got to open it up, read through it, and verify the logic, instead of just blindly trusting the final output. But, and this is a big but, you have to treat it as an imperfect window. Anthropic actually warns that this block isn't guaranteed to be a 100% complete reflection of Claude's internal monologue. So if you're making truly high-stakes decisions, you absolutely still need to independently cross-check those critical conclusions. If you want to really master these mechanics and build them into your professional toolkit, you've got to dive deeper. Head over to claritymaster.net. You can read the full chapter, walk through 3 incredibly detailed worked examples, and learn exactly how to dodge the most common pitfalls. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a crucial question to chew on. When the stakes are high in your daily workflow, are you still settling for fast answers, or are you demanding the careful audit trail your work actually requires? Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer. Catch you next time.